a banger? Hell yeah.
Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. This is your morning market report. I am Army Piper. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, getting a little bit of a rally today, but is it heading towards some key resistance? We're also going to be talking about Kaspa getting listed on Kraken. We're going to be looking at that. That could be some big news. Is there other stuff in the works? Plus, today we got very special guest on, Dominik. That is over there at the beginner block guy, talking about Kaspa mining and a whole lot more today on Piper Academy. Let's get it, guys. Class is in session. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome here to the Morning Market Report on Piper Academy. I am Army Piper, and we got a great show, guys. We're getting some movement in the markets. I'm seeing some stuff. Not fully bullish yet, but there are some signs that things might be settling down. We got the job numbers report that came in this morning. Plus, you know, we got some stuff going on with Japan. We're going to break that down. I got a great tweet on X coming out from Michael Burry. You guys may know him from The Big Short, but he's actually doing a nice little breakdown of what's going on there. And then shout out to everybody in the chat, but I'm not doing the show by myself today. Guys, I do have my sidekick, my roadie over here, my co-host, OC Guy. What's up, bro?
Not much. Just having a great day today. It seems like, I mean, the markets, as you mentioned 2 days ago, they were just kind of like a teasing around. But other than that, really excited to have our guest jumping in and asking some questions.
Absolutely, man. Also today we've got possibility that TradeFly may slide in towards the end. We'll have to see. It's Peaky Blinder. That's right. I got my Peaky Blinder on today, guys. This is what happens when you don't get to shave your head when you should, and then you have to wear the hat. Nice hat, mate. Peaky Blinders. What's up, Rick? Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate having you guys all in here. Who we got? We got T.A. Joe in the house. That is Trade Intuition. Love that dude. Amy Lives Crypto in here. We got Retro Mike Tech in here. We've got, who else? We got Warrior 4588, the Aviator, Blackie Chan's in here, and a whole lot more. Kyle Fields, man, everybody, Alexander G's in here. We got a lot of people in the house today. I like it. I like seeing it. Let's go ahead and jump into that news. But before we do, get over there, OC, anything that shocked you in the past 24 hours since we went live last time? Like, I don't know, XRP, did that shock you? Did you think it would go higher? Like, what's on your mind with the current market right now?
Well, XRP it's a little particular asset, right? I mean, I did went in here and sold and mentioned when I sold right before the Bitcoin dump, and then I was just very happy enjoying my life, right? Having my profits at the side, looking for or not looking for something or anything to actually pop, and then boom, there you go. I mean, Piper called me and told me, "Hey, buddy, have you seen XRP?" And I was hopefully it's lower. And when I jump in, freaking hell, I mean, he was just leaving me out of the game. He was even farther ahead of what I sold. But yeah, other than that, I do see the crypto market getting a little bit stronger. It is not, or it doesn't hits me as that weak type at this point. Nonetheless, it remains to be seen. I think there's a little bit more pain to come before we can call out the this dump. But other than that, going pretty strong. I'm pretty hurt about XRP, but yeah, other than that, doing great.
Awesome. I see some people that are messaging in, commenting in from X. Yes, we are broadcasting on X now also. We're simulcasting on YouTube and X now every morning. So if you guys are watching from X, put a 1 in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, put a 2 in the chat. Let's go ahead and jump in to the news, and let's talk about what's going on over there while you guys do that. Because we do have some data that we got to go over today. So let's go. Right there. There we go. Guys, today's news brought to you by Decrypted.tax, our trusted tax official. If you guys have any questions about, hey, should I be buying here? Should I sell here? What's the implications of doing a loss here and just claiming a loss so I can have some dry powder for lower, whatever that may be. If you guys need to ask those questions, check out the link below for Decrypted.tax. You can hit up Ernest and he will give you a free consultation and 25% off if you do decide to use him for services. But the consultation, free, guys. Give him a call. Check out Ernest. He's going to make you much smarter on how you deal with your taxes when it comes to crypto. So let's go ahead and jump into the markets here, guys. First of all, we're sitting at extreme fear on the fear and greed index. We're sitting at 20 right now. So I said extreme fear probably going to be the case, but I'm betting you tomorrow this is not here unless something drastic happens today. So got to do that. Let's go over here and check out the crypto bubbles for the past 24 hours. XRP up 19.1% on the daily, guys. Yep, I'm on the daily. That's right. But you can see there's still some red sitting here. Fetch is ASI, if you don't know, down 8.3%. We got Render down 5.8. Brett's down 3.9. Jasmy is breaking my heart, down 9.5. So like ton looking good. XRP looking good. Beyond that, guys, nothing major yet. Let's go down and check out on the daily with the top 20. Bitcoin currently sitting right now at $57,000, $57,600 there. Daily up 0.5%. So we do have that going. And then I gotta turn that off. You gotta stop sending me emails, people. There we go. Down 0.5% on Bitcoin. Ethereum still just getting massacred, down 0.9% today, while everything else is trying to turn green. It's down 2.3% in the past hour. The selling pressure is enormous. I do have an article on Ethereum today. We're going to take a look at that. Solana's up 1.4%. We've got XRP, like we said, up 19.1. Toncoin up 10.4. Cardano is sitting down 0.8%, but Tron reversing that up, going up 0.8% there. And then what else we got? Polkadot's up 1.9%, and the top 20, yeah, really, that's about it. Chainlink is down 0.3%. So about mixed markets, guys, but we're going to talk a lot about Kaspa today. So let's look and see where it's at. It's down 2.8% on the daily there, down 22% for the week. Let's jump over into liquidation, see how this is looking. Past 24 hours, 68,856 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $219.2 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on OKX. It was ETH for cool 2.1 million. No big deal. Economic calendar, guys. This is the data I wanted to talk about. This morning, we got these initial jobless claims that came in. Was previously at 250,000. Consensus was 240,000 people had filed unemployment in the past week. Forecast was 247,000 jobless claims. Actually came in at 233, better than expected. Let's jump in here and see what they're saying. The number of people claiming unemployment benefits in the U.S. fell by 17,000 to 230,000 on a period ending August 3rd, below the market expectations. It follows an upwardly revised 250,000. Again, they came in, slid that on the back of the table in the back of the classroom, didn't say anything, and said, oh, by the way, it was higher last time than what we reported. Shocker. This is my shock face. There you go. In the previous week, the highest in the year. Despite the decline, the claim count remains significantly above the year's average as the U.S. labor market has softened since its post-pandemic peak. So that is what they're seeing there, guys. A little bit better than the expected numbers. Still not great. And I think that's all I got for you guys, because the rest of this is a news article we're going to talk about in a bit. So let's go ahead and jump back over here to DuoCam. OC, how you doing, man? What do you think on those job numbers? A little bit better than what we've seen. You know, we had that higher unemployment, but again, they came in and revised our jobs to 250,000 last week, because they like to do that. Hey, here's our job numbers. It's, for example, 237,000 jobs. And then they come back and go, oh, actually, it was 250,000 jobs lost. We gave you bad numbers again. I don't know how you can consistently be wrong over and over and over again, and then when you're consistently wrong, it's consistently in your favor that you're wrong. That's sketch and speculative to me. I ain't buying it. How about you, OC?
Absolutely. I mean, that is either incompetency. Oh, I don't know how to say that word. They're either incom. I don't know, incompetent.
Conspiracy?
Maybe in Spanish. My
Conspiracy?
they don't know what they're doing. Like
Okay.
they
Oh,
should
incompetent?
know, but they
They're
don't.
incompetent.
Incompetent. Yeah. Sorry.
That's the word.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was thinking Spanish, so
welcome to
my
English
tongue
with
was
OC
rolling the
guy. I
wrong way.
love it. This is great.
Sometimes the tongue rolls the other way around. All right. So yeah, they're incompetent or they are willingly doing things wrong, right? So I don't want to call
No
any
wick.
sides because I mean, right here we can absolutely tell either in Mexico that we have both bands, right? We have both sides here. But yeah, talking about the US, I believe that it's more in their best interest to be wrong sometimes, and then kind of like like steer the economy towards their direction. But other than
Absolutely.
that, I mean, it's just hilarious.
So I want to bring this up. I want to talk about this. Let's go over here. I got to bring in, I got to do a little change over here. Let me hit that, and we're gonna go into the news over here. But I need to do a 2-man chart because I'm not bringing up Dominic yet. Dominic's sitting in the back room having coffee right now. He's just chilling. So there we go. And then I'm gonna bring OC's camera in here because I don't have OC. So let's go ahead and publish this, and then I'll bring OC in, and we'll talk about this whole. What's going on with Japan because it's relevant, guys. We got a whole thing going on with Japan, and if you guys are not tracking it, it's that whole carry trade that we talked about numerous times. OC, welcome to the chart there. So let's talk about this because some stuff has happened in the past 24 to 48 hours on this also. Shout out Amy Liz Crypto. How you doing there? Indie Rock Crypto is in the house. Mike plays in here. And Wick, the Wick and the Wick's wife. The Wicks are here. And I saw somebody else that I forgot to shout out earlier, and I don't remember who it was, but if I see the name again, Dave Digital, I got you guys. I love you all, man. I love you all.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about the Kabisi letter here. He said the Bank of Japan completely backtracked on their interest rate policy in order to save the market. Okay. And all they got was a 3% bounce on the USD to Japanese yen and a 130-point reversal in the S&P. It's going to be a rough session for the Nikkei 225. So they did do some stuff. They slowed down on the whole basis point thing. First of all, they were going to do another rate hike. Well, okay, hold on, chill out. We just had like the worst day since 1987 in our markets, but was it enough? That's still the doubt that's out there in the markets, right? That's why there's still a lot of this uncertainty. But I will say that chart is starting to look more bullish here than ever. Seriously, like I'm seeing some things on charts that are screaming bull market, but I'm still seeing economic data that is screaming not yet. OC, what do you see, and how do you feel about this with this Bank of Japan slowing down, chilling out a little bit? Do you think this is setting us up for a higher runs and the bull market's back on, or do you think this is setting us up for a suckers rally and people are going to get hurt? I'd love to hear your opinion on it. I know what mine is, and what do you got?
I do believe that, as you mentioned, it's going to be a soccer rally here. It's going to get a little bit bumpy. And this is like a snowball started by Japan, right? I mean, they needed to correct that. I mean, sooner or later. I just I just think that they were too aggressive on their correction, and it created that same snowball, right? At this point, we're going to be seeing that snowball crash and see the impact of what the damage was, and we will have to do some, I will say, damage control after that casualty. You were talking about yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, on the Piper Academy, that with Crux of Crypto, that this might not be counting as a black goose, right? Or a black swan. And I
Black
do
Swan.
completely agree with it. Yes, because I was thinking about the goose here, the goose head. But yeah, I completely agree that not being a black swan event just yet, or not having at least the further impact that will have, but absolutely, I believe that it's gonna persist for a little bit more time. And we need to stabilize in the markets before we get out of this maybe bad rally. I'm calling for at least 1 month, 1 week before we start seeing, the market stabilizing and, everybody doing their damage control actions before the mainstream start getting back on track.
No, I agree. And one thing that I do want to show here. So I got this news article here, and then we're going to get the guest up here, and we're going to talk about some Kaspa mining. But I do want to show this. Michael Burry put out this whole breakdown here on, what is a Japanese trade. If you haven't seen it, carry trade, it's an investor borrowing money at a lower interest rate in one currency, using it to invest in assets that offer a higher return. Basically, U.S. people borrowing the yen, right? Low interest rate, putting it into high yield assets like the tech sector, the Magnificent Seven, right? And then they turned around, raised it up, a lot of people in Japan were in shorts, so they got wrecked. But I do want to show you guys. Everyone's saying that what's going on in Japan is an absolute 100% effect on the U.S. I want you guys to know something there. The great unwind broken down. The Bank of Japan stopped buying their own bonds, hiked rates, USD versus Japan tanked. Everyone who had short positions borrowing on the yen had to cover their trades. Everyone had to dump their tech stocks and equities here to cover the positions. I would say most people have already done that. They've already sold those things to cover those positions now. The big worry is Japan. And if Japan's trade market is already leveling off, check this out. Massive institutions were involved in these carry trades, and the Bank of Japan balance sheet is vastly larger than the country's GDP. It's about 127.5% of their GDP. Crazy, right? Talk about overbought. The Fed's balance sheet is only about 25% of its GDP. The Bank of Japan's balance sheet has about 5 times more influence on their market. And it is that market, you can see it there, that's the Federal Reserve's piece of the GDP ratio. They're almost equal. They have not really changed. Ours has slowed down drastically. So bad timing. This massive unwinding also hit at a pivotal time of horrible jobs reports, unemployment, so on and so forth. Let's talk about, are we seeing the sell-off completion in Japan? Have they already covered their trades? And if so, wouldn't that mean that we probably don't have much more unless something comes out like 50 basis points in September? That's my opinion. What's your opinion, OC?
I think I'm going to fall back into the snowball effect, right? I mean, it is something that has started and it snowballed. It got bigger, rolling down the hill, and it just impacted through to whatever building we had in front of it, right? So the point in here is that it seems that they already have taken actions, but the implications of it or the disaster, it's already done, and we need to assess what's going to be happening. In my mind, there's something that we are not considering, and it's going to have a little bit more of a last long effect. And despite, I don't, as you mentioned, I mean, we don't have any other snowball coming towards us. I do believe that we still have to assess what might be behind earnings that are affecting the markets, because I mean, I do have SPX right here in front of me, and despite there's just the very first green candle in the movement that I'm seeing, I just don't see it with strength, right?
It's not ready
I don't
yet.
see markets. Exactly, it's not ready yet. Yeah, it's not ready yet.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to show this video. Then we're going to jump into Bitcoin TA here. This is a man in his taxi cab in Japan sitting behind the driver, okay? And the driver's got his phone up. So check this out. I'm going to pop this over here, and we're going to play this video because it's pretty funny. Watch this guy's reaction when he's looking at the Japanese mark. Ah, shit. That's all he's doing. Looks at that phone and then instantly bad day. Sometimes, guys, just don't open your portfolio. That's all you got to do to have a good day. So let's jump over and let's look here at what we're seeing here on Get off there. Get off there, sir. Thank you. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on Bitcoin today, guys. We do have some charts, some movement in the charts, I should say, on Bitcoin. But you guys remember that CME gap? We talked about this here. And I said, guys, the CME gap, the bottom side, top side. If you don't remember, let me refresh your memory. Let's go over here to the BTC1. Put this on the daily. There's that CME gap. It is literally where the market closed on Friday and the market opened on Monday. And I said, look, we're probably going to have to go and close this if we're going to do that. But we have a lot of resistance up there. Let's go back over to the Bitcoin chart and see what we're seeing here because that upside movement has now touched. We are inside the golden pocket, which you can see right there, the 0.66 to the 0.618. But it has touched inside of that CME gap. And so what I'm going to be watching here is this orange line coming in right here. This is your 200-day moving average. We have that coming in. We have the value area low of a fixed range volume profile coming in here. But this big cluster sitting right here above the CME gap, guys, we have the dynamic reactor. We have the quantum reactor. We have the 100-day and the 50-day, all giving resistance right here above. I think that what we do is we get above here. Everyone keeps talking about 59.5, 60,000. That's the level it has to get above. I am of the mindset that we actually have to get above 63.5 and close a candle for support. Anything below 63.5, we have not broken key critical resistance that is sitting above us. Now, I will point out on the Oscillator Pro Plus, officially about to release, guys. You guys remember me talking about that True 7 indicator that takes all of that data that is from 7 different indicators and gives you that confirmation. I said, I really need this to turn bright before I get bullish on upside movement. Well, you guys remember that. It was last Friday, I believe I said that, or maybe on the Saturday show. I got receipts. It's in the videos. We did get that bright, bold move right there. Right after that, we got an uptrend arrow, and then we started the turn in this transition light pink. You see what happens in light pink on this thing? That is right before we move up. I'm watching for this to turn green here. Now, I would have liked to have seen the True 7 go flat before it moved up here because typically that gives us a much better move to the upside. But as of right now, I can see money flow indexes coming up. The True 7 has gone bold. We went light color of transition on the oscillator ribbon. Things right now are looking pretty good. To top it off, we've got our momentum bars up here, and you can see we did the highlight right there. This is the highlight candle where we went back to red. You see what happened here when we had highlight? That was right before we went up. You see right here? It was right before it went up. I'm seeing a lot of bullishness on the Pro Plus oscillator right now, and that for that reason, I do believe that we are going to see a continuation to the upside. That being said, I do think that once we get through the CME gap and we hit this range right here with all that resistance, we will see a pullback. If we do that pullback and we show strength on the 0.66 here at $59,000, then I can expect a higher upside move. But there's a lot of steps between here and that higher upside move that need to take place before I can truly flip bullish. Regardless of what the TA is telling me, the fundamental analysis is telling me that we still have weakness in the market. So, OC, we're going to get to your Bitcoin TA here shortly, but we are almost at the top of the hour. We're going to bring the guest on. We're going to talk about some Kaspa. I just wanted to give that quick update on Bitcoin there. We're going to talk about Kaspa and their new listing. So, guys, without any further ado, welcome up here on the panel, guys. We've got Dominik coming in from the beginner block. Let's go ahead and get him up here on the stage. There we go. There he is. Dominik, what's up, man? Let me unmute you here, and you will be able to talk. Thank you for sitting back there and waiting. We had a lot to unravel this morning, but how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, bro. Tell the people who you are, what you do. You're really into mining and proof of work tokens. When I say Ethereum, you probably throw up in your mouth a little bit. It's okay. I understand. A lot of people do. Proof of stake is not their game, right? What do you do? Who are you, and why do you like proof of work so much? Go ahead and talk to the people, man.
Yep. So I'm Dominik from the beginner's block. I started the blog in January of last year. When I first got into crypto, late 2020, early 21, it started off with just buying and holding. Then it transitioned more into trading and TA. And then eventually I stumbled upon mining. That was when Ethereum was still proof of work, and I had about 16 GPUs at the time, was able to mine a few Ethereum before it went to proof of stake, sadly, and now the profits are next to nothing. But I did some spec mining in between, when they transitioned to now, and one of those was Kaspa at around a penny, I would say. Another one was Chlor, which also did really well, but it has been a journey trying to find which projects to kind of spec mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, here on our show, we're super, super bullish on Kaspa. We were talking about Kaspa as low as 3 cents on, I was talking about Kaspa for 3 cents on Debate Crypto and stuff. Officially told my community, look, guys, that's it. I'm super mega bullish on this thing now. 4.5 cents. A lot of our community got in. Some of them waited too long. It's okay. But, as long as you're there for the parabolic end, you don't have to be there when the train takes off. You don't have to catch the bottom. But some bullish news just came out on Kaspa. So, the biggest issue right now, in my opinion, with Kaspa, if people said, what's the biggest problem with Kaspa? Availability. If you're in the US, it is not easy to get unless you've been in crypto long enough to know where to go look, right? So let's jump over here. I want to show you guys this. Let me get Dominik up here in this mix. There we go. Welcome to my news screen there, man. This is from Kraken.com, guys. If you aren't tracking, you saw it on the thumbnail. Kraken.com has a listed official, or they haven't officially listed it, but it is coming. Kaspa right there, other blockchain assets. It says this is the listings roadmap. So exactly when is this going to happen? I'm not sure, but typically we do see movements in tokens that they pump going into listings. And this is just Kraken. Binance is somewhere out there. I know you talked about that article, Dominik, where they're doing the mining pool to build up their stock and supply. So are we going to see Kaspa on major exchanges by the end of this year, in your opinion? Like when Coinbase, right? That's what everyone wants to know. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
So what Kaspa has done without a tier 1 exchange is pretty insane. I don't know if we've seen any coin do this to get into the top 25 or even top 30 without a tier 1 exchange. I think as Kaspa kind of gains traction, once we get on the first tier 1, then we'll slowly start to see other exchanges kind of follow. Coinbase and Binance are some of the top ones, so we might see those a little later, but Kraken is definitely coming soon, I would say.
Okay, awesome. C90 for the win in our community here. He's one of our alumni. He said, spec mining insinuates holding it is Dominik, and a mine and hold or a mine and sell to get the liquidity into the exchanges. Miners like to discuss this. So are you a mine and hold type guy? Or are you a mine and sell? Is your Kaspa yours, or is your Kaspa for profit? That's what everyone wants to know in here.
So I always like to do research on a project, obviously, before I mine it and spend the money on electricity. So with Kaspa, I was definitely a mine and hold to see what it can do. I worked with the Kaspa team as well to write content for them, and they were a really great team to work with. So I was definitely holding. There are some people that only chase spec mines, and once they get listed on a first exchange, then they immediately sell. It's hard to keep up with that strategy, so I usually just mine and hold, especially if I see a project that is interesting and can fill a gap in crypto.
Awesome. So you currently have a miner for Kaspa, correct, at your house that you're running? And what else?
It's being hosted.
It's hosted. Okay, it's a hosted one. Do you have any other mining going on?
I do still have the GPUs. They're currently not running on anything. I am into some deep in projects as well, so those are ways to kind of earn passively each week. But as far as ASICs or GPUs, I just have ASICs running now.
So you sent me a couple of links for articles about the hash rate and the Kaspa emissions. Do you want to explain these a little bit to the alumni? What we're seeing here? Like, do you want the hash rate up, or do you want that?
Let's do hash rate first.
All right. Explain to us. Make us smart, Dominik.
Okay. So the hash rate is, you guys know, is just the amount of machines and power on the network. Within the last month, we've doubled this hash rate. We've seen companies like Marathon announce that they are mining Kaspa. Hopefully they don't dump it on us, but they seem to be pretty hopeful with it and have been stacking. I think I saw they're getting close to maybe 100 million Kaspa. So hash rate has been going through the roof. Deliveries are happening every day. So the sooner you can get your machine on, the better. But we'll definitely see this continue to climb.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Tradefly was not on today, because he actually is doing a hosted Kaspa mining also. He's waiting on it to all show up. So he would have loved to have had a conversation about the hash rate and ask you questions on it. But as you've seen so far, has it been profitable? How profitable? I don't know what your experience is with understanding like Bitcoin and previous to proof of stake with Ethereum mining, but how profitable has it been to mine Kaspa in comparison to other mining so far, in your opinion?
It has been very profitable, especially if you can get a good electric rate. I've been hosting with metered mining. It's 8 cents all in.
Nice.
So when I turned on the KS5L, I think around 2-3 weeks ago, I was at 170, 175 Kaspa a day. With the hash rate spiking and the recent kind of block reward reduction, it's down to 130 now. Still profitable, but not as nice as it was a few weeks ago.
Well, that's going to lead us into talking about this this emission schedule, right? So we're going to go over and talk about that in a second. But we've got a couple of people that are asking questions here in the chat. One is from C90. No, actually, it's from Mike Play. What are the benefits of running Kaspa nodes?
The benefits of running Kaspa nodes, some nodes you get kind of paid to run, like Neoxa or Flux. Kaspa, you're not going to be rewarded for running your node, but you, just like with Bitcoin, running your own node, it's kind of like a benefit.
Helps with that decentralization and security piece. Yeah.
You're adding to the decentralization of the network.
There you go. And then Crux of Crypto, who's a member of the team here, he does a lot of deep dives. He said, what kind of content did you write with the Kaspa team?
I wrote content for their Medium. So if you go to Medium and go to the official Kaspa page, you can see I published maybe 8 articles with them or something like that.
Outstanding. Let's go ahead and talk about, because you were talking about the profitability being good. And then C90 here, he said difficulty on Kaspa is tough to look years into the future on. Months into the future is much a better outlook. So he's talking about that difficulty, and that's really where we get into this news article here, or this piece of news here, is this Kaspa emission schedule. So looking at this, I know for like how it does, it's every month it has like a halving, or every month the difficulty increases. And so like every year is like a Bitcoin halving on the 4-year schedule, right? Is that correct? Yep. Did I nail it? Did I get it?
Yeah, it has kind of like halvings, almost like Bitcoin. It's definitely a more aggressive emission schedule, since every month we are getting that cut down. It's not cut in half. I don't know what the exact cutoff is, but you can see like the first year chromatic phase there goes from 440 to 415. So it's not completely cut in half, but as you know, the year goes on, it's right around cut in half after a full year. So it's like a halving every year, but once the year goes on, it's just taking a little chunk out of that half, if that makes sense.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm just a dumb analyst from the Army that analyzes a lot of data. But when I see this data and I go, okay, I already know what the difficulty level is on Bitcoin, right? Like, it's astronomical how difficult it is now at the new halving that we just had. But it's going to be mined all the way out to like 2140. By the time we get out there each 4 years, that gives plenty of time for technological advancement, right? To meet that demand. The schedule on Kaspa is much sooner and much shorter. Is technology going to be able to keep up with the difficulty demand on Kaspa mining, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think their emission schedule goes out to 2037, I believe. That is not too far away compared to
No, it's not.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like 21. I don't even know what it's estimated now.
2140. 2140 is the final block of Bitcoin. So I mean, 2037, not that far away, man.
It's not far away. Kaspa is definitely doing something interesting. They do blocks per second, so it can be used super easily to pay for goods. I know coffee shops that are accepting Kaspa and things like that. So I definitely think we will see it kind of advance. They are still working on. I was on a Twitter Spaces that was being hosted. They were talking about how they're going to bring NFTs and all these updates to the network. So it definitely sounded promising that they're still kind of continuing to expand and grow the network.
Nice. Awesome. So you were talking also earlier about nodes, and you talked about the Bitcoin nodes. Have you heard of these? This is really cool. Crypto Billy, shout out to him, showed me these. They're solo Satoshis. These are little nodes for Bitcoin. And they're like, they have like the bit axe, if you will. But these are little nodes that you can run at your house. They're like $150, $170. Have you seen these before?
Yes. So I have one of the nerd miners. It's a smaller, less powerful device than the BitX is. I do have a BitX on the way. I have seen that they have been doing some testing with the S21 Antminer chips for these to make them even more powerful in the future. A few weeks ago during the Bitcoin conference, we did see one of these solo mine a block of Bitcoin. So
I heard about that. So this little $170 little miner node here got lucky. It's like a lottery ticket, just so you know. Don't buy one of these things. It's solosatoshi.com if you want to know. Don't go buy one of these things thinking that you're going to mine a Bitcoin and all of a sudden, bam, you got 70,000 or 55, 56,000, whatever it is right now. But yes, it happened during the halving when there was so much craziness going on. You guys remember me showing you the hash rate just went straight up. Someone actually got one of the nodes. They won the lottery and they got to mine on their little $140 BitX. So yeah, I just wanted to know what your thought was on these. I think they're pretty cool. I'm going to probably get a couple just here to put on my shelf, not thinking that I'm ever going to get to mine a Bitcoin with it, but it does add security. And that's what you were talking about with that node. The more nodes out there running, the more decentralized everything becomes, right? And that's really what we are into, is decentralization. So yeah, if you guys want to help decentralize, no link, nothing like that. I just think these are cool. I'm going to pick up a couple just to run that security extra layer of a node. I'm doing my part. For the security of crypto. So, do you have anything else that you're bullish on right now? Like, I know Kaspa, and I know that you got your mining going on, and what else are you really bullish on? And obviously, I already know it's going to be proof of work, right? So,
yeah. So I love my proof of work coins. We have seen Alephium, another proof of work coin, kind of follow the same path as Kaspa as far as Ice River miners first, and then we have Bitmain coming in, and all these kind of different mining companies trying to, kind of compete for the same coin. We saw this with Kaspa. Ice River was first. No one knew what this company was because they didn't make anything before that. So it was a big risk for people buying the miners. I know Greater Good Mining, another crypto mining YouTuber, kind of took a risk and bought one, and it definitely paid off for him. He has done very well with Kaspa.
Nice.
Lithium is one of those where we can possibly see something similar like Kaspa, where we see the network hash rate grow crazy. But these miners at the like Bitmain's miner that they're selling, I think is like $30,000-$40,000. So for a home miner, you probably don't have that kind of money laying around to take a risk like that. But I know iServer has some of the smaller ones, and even Gold Shell. I think Gold Shell had the first one, the little box miners for Lithium, and the profitability has just tanked since then.
Yeah, that happens a lot when people invest into their mining rig at this new token. Oh, I'm going to make so much money on this. And at first, when they buy this equipment, they watch their buddy or whoever else in the space just ripping through, a guy on Reddit, talking about it. And, oh, I'm going to get mine. I'm making all this money. And then all of a sudden, it just becomes non-profitable. I've seen that happen so many times in blogs, in forums, people talking about that. So yeah, you got to be careful for sure. Retro Mike Tech actually is the one that told Crypto Belly about that solo miner, that solo Toshi there. And he clarified it is not a node. It is actually a miner. It's a solo miner that's one chip away from being a big ASIC. So shout out for that clarification there. I appreciate that, man. Lithium mining seems to be miners only. Reminds me of those coins like Raven or Zcash that only miners buy. That's what C90 for the win's talking about here in the chat, man. So I don't know, what do you got for the people before we go jump into some altcoin TA, Dominic? Because it's been great having you on, but we need to move on to that. So is there anything you want to final words of wisdom from Dominic to the alumni here?
I'd like to go back to the solo miner for a second. The block reward now is 3.125 Bitcoin. So every 10 minutes you have a chance to solve that block. It's like a lottery ticket that doesn't expire, kind of. You just run it, super low watts. It's not a node. Retro Mike is correct on that. But there are, I think Start9 Labs sells little machines that you can run the Bitcoin node on if that's something you would be looking to do. As far as last words, it was a pleasure being on here and talking with you all. If you have any questions, you can send me a message on Twitter. The messages should be open on there. So if you have any mining questions or anything like that,
awesome.
I'd be happy to answer them.
I'd love to get you on to come on to our into our one of our classrooms sometime in our Discord, and we do AMAs over there. So if anybody has any desire for that, let us know in the Discord, and if that's the case, I can get with Dominic and we'll get together and have a chat and get smart. That's what we do here at the Academy, right? So Dominic, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's great having you. Anytime you want to come on, you're very knowledgeable and very smart on all this stuff. And I'm dumb when it comes to this stuff. I need people like you. That's the secret to success. Surround yourself with people smarter than yourself, and you will do well in life. So appreciate you, bro.
Thank you all.
Thanks, bro. Yep. OC, that was, did you learn anything today, OC? I learned a crap ton about mining that I did not think I would do before. He'd been sending me stuff yesterday and today too. So very, very smart dude. I loved it. So let's get into altcoins. We got altcoins. Guys, let us know in the chat. If you're on X or you're on YouTube, I don't care, either one. Drop a chat here. What altcoins would you like us to take a look at on the markets here? And I'm going to go ahead, and while you're doing that, I'm going to jump over and check out what's going on with the markets right now. Let's look at this hourly, and then we're going to come back and take a look at what's going on with the stock side too. Looks like we're getting a little bit of sell-off on the daily here, on the hourly, I should say. On the daily, we're looking green. So the last hour we have pulled back at market open. Let's go and check out that little solo stock heat map. Guys, stock markets are looking green after the open. We're about 45 minutes into the open right now. Google up 2.09%. Apple's up a little bit under 1%. NVIDIA up 1.93%. And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Guys, it looks like all of the sell-off that could have taken place to cover those shorts on the Japanese market, on the Nikkei, probably already took place. So we're starting to see that recovery happen here in the tech stocks. And I also talked to you guys about the banking industry. I said, look, if they're going to be cutting rates, people have got to be getting bullish on the stocks for banks, because if they do a 25 basis point cut in the Federal Reserve rate, the Fed rate, then the banks can offer loans at cheaper amounts. And that's what we're seeing here. We're a lot of cooling off here coming, a lot of warming up, I should say, on these banking stocks as the high interest rate loans start to fade away. So, what do you got there for some TAOC? Let's let you bring it out first, and then I'm going to come in right behind you with Ethereum, and we're going to talk about my heartbreaking girlfriend Ethereum. So, what do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. Just to follow up on the Wyckoff pattern that I'm seeing here, we still a little bit of wave on the 4 hours to the dynamic reactor. So there is a little bit of a chance that we get all the way up here back to 60K, 6,800, but I don't see it as a right away chance. And why is that? Because I'm starting to see those indecision candles with big wicks at the top and at the bottom, and that indicates me that we could be having combo of reversal in here at the oscillator. I remember that our prime square is very bearish. Although we already have a market prophecy of pump, we already have moved from the very bottom to these areas in here. We did follow up very nicely on this retracement. And let me show you something that is happening here, which is this pullback and continuation. We have seen that many times in the Wyckoff pattern, especially in Bitcoin. Let me go to one very famous, which was basically almost the bottom, or right at the bottom right here at the bear market. As you can see, we were coming down the little range, the V-shaped recovery, and then we had a little hiccup, right? Going retracement, and instead of going all the way down to previous or where the low should be, we immediately went back up and technically broke previous high, right? Same thing happened here. We did not went all the way back down, and then we got a little bit higher. So that pattern repeats over and over and over on the Wyckoff charts. And so just be careful with that one, maybe getting repeated. What I could be seeing here, let me move to a cleaner chart that where I can maybe like doodle a little bit here. It is going to be this retracement and then the flip back, or the retracement right here a little bit higher, or technically higher than the previous high. Therefore, that will be maybe getting us somewhere low in this range before we start marking tops and bottoms of Bitcoin movement. Other than that, going very quick to SPX, we are right there on the plan. Basically, it's not about the breakout. We have the EME gap, CME gap. We went back up for the retest and fill up of the CME gap, and then move to the downside here. So this is the very first green candle I was speaking. But as you can see, we're not there yet on the oscillator. Our prime score is still very low, and our oscillator, or our prophecy has not changed since here that we call for this pump. So still on the wait out for that one. So turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over and take a look at this Ethereum chart first, and then we're going to read an article about Ethereum that I have here, because it's heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking, man. If you guys don't know, for transparency purposes, I've got a lot of Ethereum in my portfolio. It's about a quarter of my entire portfolio, and you can see we did have all the same stuff that we talked about seeing on Bitcoin took place here. We had the highlighting here on the upper bars, right? We got the nice little highlighted true 7 that said, hey, look, we're heading to upside. We got the pink. We got the overboughts down here, oversold, I should say. We got the money flow starting to curve back up here, right? Everything looks good here. Even the volume matrix is what was green here, and then it went into red, and now it's starting to blacken back up. You see, when it starts to get lighter from that brighter color, it starts to give us indication, right, of upside movement. Everything's going good here. The only problem is price ain't doing good. It's just sitting right there at that one spot. So let's jump over to this article, and I want to talk about this because there's a whole thing going on right now. Where is this article? That is not it. It is right there. This is the More Pain Analyst. Nope, that is not it either. I have an article, I promise I do, on Ethereum. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I don't need an article. There is a lot of sell-off going on with 3 reasons why it's going down right now. Actually, it might be on X. That might be exactly where it's at. And I think it is. It is. Nope, it is not. Okay, anyway, you had Jump Trading. Jump Trading, they did a big sell-off. If you guys don't know, they're under investigation. They got some ties to FTX. So you got that one going on. 2, you got the ETH being sold off from Grayscale. That's doing a lot of push. And then there's also Ethereum from a big scam hack that happened in China at the same time. That's a summary of that article. So you got a lot of selling pressure on Ethereum. Do we get to a point where this pressure and energy builds up so much on Ethereum that it just moonshots and catches up? Because I do want to remind people, last bull cycle, Ethereum set at about $1,900 for most of the bull market before it did an astronomical parabolic run up to the $4,800 range. OC, what's your thoughts on this? Are we going to see anything off of ETH? Are we going to see anything off of this, or am I just kicking the can down the road with my portfolio, whistling Dixie? What's your thoughts, man?
All right, so I do believe that we're going to be having a rally on Ethereum. I mean, I absolutely do. Why? It's just the second place on cryptocurrencies, right? The first one held it by Bitcoin, and I am very bullish on Bitcoin, and there is no reason I shouldn't be as bullish as I was 2 cycles ago on Bitcoin that I could or that I should be right now on Ethereum, right? It's just basically the same thing. Yes, is it the best coin? Not for me, right? I do also kind of like don't like. I do like proof of work other than proof of stake. But we need to acknowledge and humble up, right? And acknowledge the power and what does Ethereum means for the crypto community, right? That way it stands and also its development. So I do believe that we're going to be having that pop. I don't know if that's going to be as a god candle as I'm expecting, but it acts. But it absolutely is going to be a movement, a rally to the upside.
Yeah, awesome. And I do have that article here that we were talking about. 3 reasons why Ethereum is struggling today. Will ETH break $2,000? Let me get rid of you, sir. I don't need your advertisement. Thank you. Even after the welcome recovery on August 6th, Ethereum is under immense selling pressure today, August 7th. This is yesterday, last night. Despite gains earlier today, losses saw the coin edge lower, as visible in the daily chart. And they talk about the jump trading liquidating Ethereum while prices drop below 2,000. Multiple factors playing into this ETH price action not being the greatest right now. And you can see here is all of the sell-off going on with jump trading. According to Look On Chain data, jump trading claimed 11,501 ETH worth over $29 million from the liquidity staking platform on Lido Finance. And then the blockchain analytics platform said the block of ETH is set for sale. So they are selling, yes. They're currently being investigated by the CFTC and also plans to redeem another 19,000 Ethereum worth over $48 million from the same platform, likely to be dumped in the secondary market, weighing down price even more. If you don't know, over-the-counter, secondary market. When we get rained on with selling pressure and get crazy Eric Wall and Scamwicks, that is because we are secondary market, guys. On August 5th, jump trading liquidated over 120,000 wrapped ETH, accelerated that sell-off. Though Bitcoin lost over 20% that day, losses were more pronounced on Ethereum, which dumped nearly 40% from the July highs, saw the price down at 2,100. And then Plus Token Ponzi scheme. This is a large amount of ETH being moved from wallets associated with Plus Token Ponzi scheme, according to Scope Scan data. The last time these wallets were moved was in 2021 when Chinese authorities shut down the scam. So that Plus Token Ponzi wallet controls roughly $2 billion worth of Ethereum. I do think that we could see more downside on ETH, but my approach to it is I have a very low leverage trade set on it. Right now, it's currently in profit because I started at about $2,200 and it wicked down to 21 and picked up 3 of my entries. I'm doing entries on a 3x leverage. $150, which is $50 of real money times 3, right? 150. And I've got laddered in entries to be picked up and add to that momentum on the slingshot. So think of it like pulling down a slingshot, and as it comes down, it picks it up. The further you go down, the further it goes up, right? So I do have a ladder in low leverage entry on this that I'm going to try to run through the market, but I do think that we have some more downside coming. OC, it's not looking good, and I'm pretty sure that beginner's block sitting in the background out there is going, it's because they're not proof of work anymore. I can just hear them in my head. Dominik does not like proof of stake at all. So hold on, I got to bring him up here. Dominik, you're still sitting back in the green room. I got to ask you, is Ethereum's problem because it's proof of stake? You're muted, bro. Oh, I got you muted. Hold on. There you go. What is it?
When they were proof of work, they said they were going to proof of stake to lower the fees, because we all know the fees to use Ethereum were crazy, and they still are. So clearly they didn't solve their problem with going to proof of stake. I don't know if they can implement some other upgrades or anything like that, but for what their goal was, or what they said it did not help at all.
Not at all, bro. Yeah, so I'm not feeling very good about my ETH. I just wanted to ask, would they still be having these issues if they were proof of work? Because we can talk about historical data, like, guys, last cycle, blah, 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 blah. Key point, last cycle, they were proof of work. So, we have to take that into account, right, when we're looking at price action. So I just wanted to bring you back up to ask you that question. You got anything else about Ethereum?
No, not really. I mean, I wish the fees to swap were lower, but they have gone down. But whenever it gets busy, even a little bit, it's like $80 to swap versus when it's kind of quiet times, it'll be like $1.
Yeah, trust me, I love my ETH, but when I go to send money, it is always sent on things like Solana and Tron, and so there's much cheaper ways to send that money around. Awesome, man. I just wanted to bring you up to ask you that. I'm going to jump over and take a look at Solana here, guys. Looking at Solana, that is not the right chart. That is the right chart. Looking at Solana here, we did get that bounce that we talked about here in the golden pocket, guys. We were sitting there at the 300-day moving average. We had the value area low, and now we have pushed up in our price up and past the 50. You guys know, if we get that rejection on the 50, that is bearish, right? We got up above it. We came down with the candle close to test that, and we got another push up. Guys, we got past the dynamic reactor. We got past the quantum reactor. We got past the 200, the 100, the 50, everything. All we have left is this nice trend line up here that's coming in above this 382 at about $163. That trend line, that 382 fib coming in at about 159. Solana's looking strong. Solana's looking very strong right now. Also, I do want to point out that we had a hidden bullish divergence that printed down here on the Oscillator Pro Plus. We got an uptrend. We got a peak seeker. We got oversold. We got the change of color there on transition for that oscillator for the ribbon. We also got the money flow coming back up. And I want to show you guys what happens when our money flow goes back to green from red here. You ready? Let's go back and take a look at the money flow. Just so you know, the money flow is this green wave here where it comes out of red. You see here it went red a little bit and then bam, hit support and rocketed back up. It pretty much stayed bullish the whole time on this money flow until here. Here's where we started to go red. We had one last hit up for rejection, and then it stayed red this whole time to where we are now. We are about to go back to green, and that is looking very bullish on Solana also. Let's jump back to Duo Cam. OC, we got time for something quick. If you can do something quick, we have time for that. What do you got for us?
Perfect. Let's do TAO. So let's go very quick to TAO. Basically, there was a trade that we were talking about. It's very important to show receipts. Here we go. This is a time and day that I was talking about this one. Remember, I told you that I was not trading it. I was not holding it, and most likely I was going to buy it that day. I actually did. Here we go. This is what I was expecting. we have a pullback and a retracement to the upside. I did take advantage of that and then went long. So far, as you can see, we're heading the dynamic reactor. We are above the zero line. Are we bearish? Yes, we're still bearish. At this point, I will be moving my stop to entry, but nonetheless, I'll be pushing forward with this possible movement to the upside, maybe making the breakout and retest that I could be expecting. So it's looking great on TAO. Nonetheless, we do have the little range in here, which makes this for a fabulous area of bouncing or rejection right up here for completion of the YCAF pattern. That will be giving us 70% chances of arranging. So that's why I'm not shorting at this point, because we are above the zero line in here, which means we could be pushing upwards. But at the same time, this is just so perfect that this could be a very nice short, which at this point I'm not going to be taking unless I see one or two confirmation candles of a rejection of the dynamic reactor. Just to add to that area, let me clear this up so we all can see it. We have a loud order block right there, in which we are fighting right now, right away, right? So again, that's why I'm not going to be neither shorting or longing. I'm already moving my stop to entry and just leaving it as is. By the way, I already have taken 50% out of my trade, so I already have paid myself that. If you did took that trade and you're looking to take some profits, this is an amazing area to do so. Not financial advice, but turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We are at the bottom of the hour. It's time to wrap it up here, but we will be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets and the economy, everything that you guys need, as always, for the morning market open report. Plus, tonight, join Tradefly and FD White. They're going to be live for the crypto nightcap. Big shout out to Dominik. If you guys enjoyed this content and the knowledge he was dropping here for the alumni today, check out the links down below. All of his links are in the description. And if you guys have any questions about anything on the show today, hit us up in the Discord. You can join that for free if you guys want to, if you guys need to, if you guys need that knowledge. That's where you should go, the Discord. OC, tell you guys what they win if they hit that like and subscribe today.
Absolutely, guys. If you hit that like button, well, sorry. Well, so thank you so much for joining today. And a quick reminder to hit that like button, right? I just was wondering.
And if you do, Ethereum, my Ethereum bag will recover.
That was about what I was about to say. Yeah, click that like button, and if you do, you might be seeing Ethereum just blasting through the roof. Don't believe me? Try it out. If you don't see it blasting, it's because you did not hit that like button hard enough. So make sure you click it well and hard.
Wick has a question before we go. He said, Professor, mining is now legal in Russia. Is that new news? Sort of new news. They've been rumored about that for a while, but yes, that is the official, hey, you can mine now. That is pretty new news. It's pretty good. But as Retro Mike just said, it's legal everywhere until you get caught. So guys, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning right here. If you guys enjoyed this, share with a friend. That's what helps us grow, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're going to trade today, guys, trade safe. And if you do, use a stop loss. We'll catch you guys tomorrow later.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!